One and zero. Hello, internet. We're
Hello.
here. It's like 9:06. We're fashionably late. Please forgive us. I'm Chris Kenard. I'm your boy, and I'm here with the person of the hour. Who are you exactly? For those who do not know.
So my name is V. I often go by Subtle Smile, and I do a bunch of shit. So,
Okay, let's talk about all that shit. And if you don't mind me asking, just like to start the show, what are your
sure.
pronouns?
My pronouns are she, her.
My pronouns are he, him. I'm
Great.
trying to like, or I'm trying to like, do something here. It's like, oh hey, cisheads, like, you should put your
Right.
pronouns on your socials, so like you don't make your queer friends or acquaintances or even strangers uncomfortable.
Right. I think that's smart. Actually, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
I think it's because there's so many, um, how do I put it? Like, I'm a very not label kind of person.
mm-hmm.
So when somebody calls me a certain thing, I've actually, surprisingly, when I was younger, I used to look a lot more boyish than this. I'm sure you remember.
Ooh,
So
back in
when
the
I
day.
wear oversized shirts, people would actually think I was a boy when I had short hair, but I
Mm.
would never really like correct them. I'd just be like,
What's the
yeah. So
significance? I'm still V, right?
yeah, exactly. So I think that's smart. Maybe I should put that as well. I don't want to make
Yeah,
anybody uncomfortable.
yeah. It's like every day I'm learning more about the world around me, and like it's like you're in an anime, and like the plot just like in like expands because so like if I want to be like a person who's polite and follows the rules, I want to do everything in my power to just like be polite and be kind. So
Right.
that's me attempting to be a better ally. So
Yeah,
on with
absolutely.
on with the show. We have about like 21 questions here.
Damn.
Why don't you start with
Oh, I have a question that I forgot
okay,
to ask. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no
Can
worries.
I curse?
Yes,
Okay.
we're like almost like we're almost in our 30s. Like
Yeah, no,
we're
like
not
some
on the
people are
clock.
like, don't curse, and I'm just like, and then
I
I'm
would
just
have
like, I
told
try really hard.
I would have told you like the first place, like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to keep like a clean channel. Nah, dog. Like,
Yeah,
I
awesome.
listen to hip hop and death metal. Like, all bets are off. You know what I'm
For
saying? Like,
sure.
Wu Tang is for the children, but like they also say a lot of things that I wouldn't say. So,
Right.
how about you tell us about how you came up with the name Subtle Smile? It's been like your moniker for almost as long as I've known you.
Yeah. It might have been even longer than that. I think like I was making an email where everybody kind of when you're younger, you just kind of a lot of people are dumb and they like put their real name in their emails and stuff. And I'm extremely safe. Since a young age, I didn't want anybody to know my real name or anything like that. So, I mean, now that I'm, a professional worker, for example, when I get students and such, I give them the email with my name so they know who it is. But when I created this email, I wanted something that described me, but was kind of like a general thing of my personality. So like I'm a nerd. So like when I was younger, I
Me
made
too.
right. So when I was younger, I made a bunch of accounts or like emails or whatever based on that
Also
nerd
me, yes.
fandom. Yeah, and I just didn't want to but I wanted something that described me to the core, not really just one of my hobbies. And I have various hobbies. So I was like, why not use Subtle Smile? And, like for an email, you can't put spaces. You have to put like a dot or an underscore. And I thought those looked ugly. So what I did was I put the X in between Subtle Smile, but then that looked ugly. So then I put an X in the front and then an X at the end. So it's X subtle, X smile, X. So it looks complicated, but it's pronounced subtle smile.
All right, so that's interesting to me only because it's like, wait, so it's not because of like, because like we're in like, we're in like the scene world and like the anime world, like
Right.
everyone, like, and people who are just like they're hardcore or they're straight edge, they have like those triple X's and such, and then
Mm-hmm.
like in the adult world they have those X's and such, and we just say
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, like for the sake of aesthetic and not necessarily for like, um the brand association. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So no,
That's
like
amazing.
yeah, I know one of my closest friends, who you know as well, Michelle.
Yes, I do. Shout out to you. Hey,
Yeah, hey. And
shout
she's
out to
supposed to be
Virginia.
watching. I don't know if she's watching. But
We have one live viewer right now. Shout out to our one viewer right now. Shout out to you.
might be
Let's
my brother.
go. Hey, shout out to hey. Hey. You may already know. I have a question about your brother. So like,
Yeah.
he's gonna get his like little 5 seconds of fame.
I
Okay.
told him that, and then and then I told him how I was gonna describe him, which was like, I said something like, I'm gonna describe you as square, and he's like, I love it. So
See, and like he leans right into it, and that is like the sign of a true Chad. So
yeah.
like, big bro, I hope you're wondering like you are a true Chad. Okay.
So yeah, no, so Michelle was like, oh, I've always loved that. So when I was going to actually call my company something different,
Okay.
but unfortunately legally it was just so difficult because the words were just too common. So
Oh.
yeah, so I was like, why don't I call my company Subtle Smile? Because I've had this, every account that you search that is Subtle Smile on Google is my account.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's already mine for like 15 years. Why not? Why not just make it official? So Michelle often tells me like, oh, I've always loved it with those emo X's. And I'm like, emo
Yes.
X's? Like, and
Exactly.
now that you mentioned that, like I finally remember it. Like I remember the original why people put those X's in there, but I never put it in for that. So I was
I
just
don't think I
like,
have
that's so
either.
weird.
No. Yeah. Maybe because I felt like a poser. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
when you know what it's like being a person of color. Like when you're into these sort of things, it's not often you'll meet people who look like you who love the things that you do.
I agree.
And and,
Like
and ooh, go on,
actually,
please.
real quick, I'm sorry. That reminds me, it's because Michelle and I went to a concert a few months ago together. Not a few months ago because it's Corona. I guess last year. I guess
Right.
I've been home. All of it's just blended together. But
Ooh.
last year when we went to a concert together, there was an opening band for the main act. There were like maybe 5, 6 different bands, but
Okay.
one of the bands had the lead singer was black, and
Yes. Yes.
and I was just like, I thought I was like the only not white person in the whole building. And then, but then he called out the other black person in the building. Like, I'm not black, but I mean,
Yeah.
it's like him and then me and then the singer were like the only non-white people in there. So like he called him out. It's like I'm seeing a bunch of salt and then one tall piece of pepper right there. And I turned and there was like a tall black dude and I was like, yes, hi.
A mini story I'll tell is that the last time I had the chance to go to the Vans Warped Tour, I went to go see one of my favorite bands of all time, Dance Gavin Dance.
Ooh.
And I noticed right away when like they started playing their music, I saw a black person, and then he saw a black person, and we all just like scurried together, and like everyone was just so happy to see one another. And one dude just blurts out, "Thank you for liking this band," and that really just like eclipsed the whole situation because it's kind of like, yo, all my brothers are here, all like my black friends are here. It's like, yo, like you like this band, and like it's not just me, you know.
Right.
And when we do the things that we tend to do, like it's so important. They're like, oh, it's not just me that's into this kind of stuff. Like I'm not the only one out here. Like, and thank God for the internet because now you can see all across the universe. It's like, oh, like there's a whole community that I'm just waiting to dive into. And speaking of community, I wonder if I can just like show these comments on screen.
Oh, sure. I actually can't see no comments.
Oh, okay. Because I have someone with
Oh,
the
JK.
account that says Boku Asado. Do you know that name by any chance?
Yeah, actually, it's my friend Kay from New York.
Hello, Kay. What up, New York? Shout out to the Bronx. You know the vibes. On every block, I do the Millie Rock or whatever the heck 2 Millie said at the time.
Yeah, no, I told Kay, and she was all like, I tried to get as many of my like friends and followers to come here as I could too. I wanted to help you
Yeah,
out, and I wanted
that's very
to
kind. Yeah.
just really, shout out to you for giving me any airtime.
Listen, like I said to you privately, like I want all my friends to eat. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like
I need
they're
to
not
eat,
like,
guys. So
listen, like I think I maybe ate like an hour or 15 minutes ago, and it's like I'm probably not gonna eat till midnight, and then I'm gonna go to sleep because that's the vibe. You know what I'm saying? My
yeah.
missus made a delicious custard with like kiwi
Ooh.
and oranges, so I have that. Um,
I
waiting for me at the end of the
guarantee.
stream. You already know. Speaking
Yeah.
of
I mean,
food, speaking of food, ooh,
sure.
did I have any questions about food?
I don't
No,
think so, but
but
you can ask me.
I'm gonna cycle back around to YouTube because like we're both here on this platform, StreamYard. But like, even if we weren't, we'd be streaming live to YouTube. What made you want to like go here as opposed to like I don't know, like Vimeo or Instagram? And you are on Instagram, but like I feel that some people who like make their living there, like they have like this advanced degree in like navigating that platform. And I for a while I wasn't even I was like I had an Instagram account and I followed people and had them follow me, but I stopped posting for like 2 years because
Wow.
I didn't want to put it on my phone. I just had nothing to post. Like before I started posting again this year, like the last 3 things that I posted were just like videos of like album covers and like playing a song from that album on Spotify. So like why YouTube more than anything else that like you could choose from, like TikTok or even Snapchat and things like that.
Right. I think generationally, I can't use TikTok. I have an account
Me
and
too,
I
yeah.
activated it, but it's not.
It's not in use.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have it, but I've tried using it and it's just not me. I think I deleted the one video I had on there, which was just showing my art.
I remember that video. I remember that
Mm-hmm.
video.
And I mean, I did a good job, but
You did, for real.
yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting my drink.
No problem. I have maybe like a little bit of water left. I'm gonna stretch it out because I'm not trying to get it from my chair.
For sure.
Stay hydrated, y'all.
Yep. So yeah, no. I actually got a TikTok because I wanted to follow a Japanese band that I like and that I've loved for like 20 years or something.
You better plug them. Plug them right now.
Yeah, so their name is Psycho Laysum.
I never even heard of them. Wow.
What?
Honestly,
We've been friends for so long and I haven't told you about them. I think you'd love them, Chris. No way. Are you sure I didn't tell you about them?
Maybe I forgot, but like the name isn't like
Doesn't ring a bell.
No.
Dude, that's bad of me. I'm sorry. It's like all I listened to in high school. So like I got a TikTok for them because they do cosplay and yeah. So like I got it for them, but then I guess since Corona they haven't been very active because they all have to get together to make their videos. And they're like a cosplay band, but they play a lot of rock music, and pop.
Awesome.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to get a TikTok for them. And then, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just the generation, but I felt really grossed out when I downloaded TikTok.
Okay, culture shock then, huh?
Yeah, I was just like, what am I watching? It was just a lot of things that I don't understand. I can't say, like, oh, they're stupid or whatever. It's like each generation has their own thing. But for me, I can't understand the entertainment behind it. So I was like, maybe I'm just going to not really use it. But I'm more of like, so I usually stream on Twitch.
Yeah,
I'm a Twitch affiliate, so like people can subscribe and whatnot. But I think it's easier to reach the world on YouTube because and I say that like I mean on Twitch, yeah, mostly like Europeans and Americans follow me, but I also speak Japanese, and so I sub my tweets and sub my videos in Japanese. So I thought, what better way to reach a Japanese audience than YouTube? Because YouTube's more prominent there.
Wow. Okay. So like, you just blew my mind right now because I have lots of friends who love music like yourself, and we'll get into a big like K-pop or J-pop like argument or debate. And for years, like being the weeb that I am for like the last decade or so,
we wouldn't be friends if he wasn't. Let me just say,
honestly, but like all those.
I love me some weebs.
like all the great like Japanese rock bands that like you discover via anime and whatever, like
Yeah.
oftentimes it's hard to like keep up with them if you're not like in like the eastern like internet world, like if you're not on like WeChat or what's the green jump that you used for a long time that you trying to get me into?
Oh, line.
Line, or if you don't have
Yeah.
Weibo, I think that they
Mm,
use over in Korea and whatnot. Like if you're not really like plugged in over there or on like all these messenger boards or websites, you're gonna have a hard time. And I found that it's harder to find Japanese acts that aren't on like independent labels, like the bigger acts. If you're not buying CDs or like, because I try to go like iTunes and like the Japanese iTunes store,
mhm.
like I'd have such a hard time trying to find music videos or like full streamable songs because it's like, hey yo, if you ain't buying, get out. You ain't we ain't welcome here. And I'm just like, like this is so hard for me. But thankfully,
Right.
but since YouTube has gotten so like huge and expansive, it's easier now. But like, I think I'm still bitter about how hard I had it at the time as a youth, and no resources and like allies to tell me like the right pockets to like dig through on the internet. But with the K-pop acts, like all those labels are dying for Westerner money. So it's like, oh, you should plug
Yeah.
them here, 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 here. They want you to know, but like with
Yeah.
like these Japanese acts, like unless you're making like
Mm-mm.
what, like Baby Metal or like Asian Kung Fu Generation or even like that one cat from Locket Lark and Seal, like
Mhm.
you're gonna have a
Hi.
yeah, exactly. I know he's like the big deal over there. Like you're gonna have
Oh
a hard
shit.
time, and I'm just
Yeah.
like I don't want to have a hard time. It's 2020. I want to stream like these awesome Japanese bands, man.
If I'm honest, like just being a fan for so long, it kind of makes me upset. Like I have to, like, you know how here in America, it's kind of like you got to tread lightly when you talk about gender, sex, politics. There, you got to tread lightly when you ask somebody's favorite band. Like, I don't think I've ever met a fan that wanted to share with me what band that they liked.
Wow.
They just wanted to keep them to themselves. And I mean, like, there are fans that don't do that too. Don't get me wrong.
Sure. Yeah.
But I mean, like, there's like a thing, especially in the J rock scene and the visual K scene, there's like a thing
Mm.
about if you're a foreigner.
Oh, really?
They don't, because they know that the band will notice you in the audience because you don't look like everybody else. And I think that's what I just kind of want people to understand is like they probably just see us because we look different.
Hmm.
But a lot of it is like, oh, they're looking at her, so he must love her. It's like, I don't know who that is. I don't
Um.
care who that is. Like, I mean, I'm here for the talent in the show. So I pay money just like you. I pay money to get the extra shit just like you, like taking pictures
The
and
perks.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Like when you buy a CD and get that ticket for a photo, I get the same thing because I did exactly what you did. I'm paying the same amount of money that you are and probably talk to them less than you do. I usually have nothing to say. So, I mean, I'm sorry that I stick out, but I stick out. Like, I mean, I don't ask for that, but they notice me because I'm different. But then it's all
Wow.
like, oh, he's looking at her. He must love her. And I'm like, look, I don't know about that. You got to ask him because I'm normal.
I'm
I
just
just pay my
here.
money. Yeah. But no, you're absolutely right. Like, I feel like musicians and artists can't succeed without your help. We love the fact that help us by maybe dropping us a follow, buying our products, and but we want help as well. Like, as a fan, don't you? I mean, you'd think that you'd want your favorite artist to succeed, but a lot of people are like, oh, well, as like I'll ask, like even with little things, not just musicians, rather, like even just artists who do fine art. I'll be like, hey,
Mm.
where'd you get that? They'll be like, it's a secret. I'll be like, okay. I mean, I love the
Oh,
art. I
damn.
want to support, but it doesn't seem to. I think a lot of people are just very protective of what they like. And you
Mm.
should be, but I'm not looking to do anything but support
Yeah.
because I understand how they are in their line of work. I have the same line of work. I want people to enjoy my products, enjoy what I produce, but support me if they are willing to. So if other fans, if you're the same fan, of the same thing, you'd think like it's easier to become friends because you have something in common, but it's
Yes.
always competition
Okay.
among the fans. So it's so difficult to spread the word.
Okay, so you mentioned how like you have goods and services to provide like via your
Hmm.
website and such.
Yep.
Tell people we have 4 viewers right now. Shout out to our 4 viewers. You know, say hi in the comments. We want to see
Hi
you. We want to hear
guys.
you. Hello. Um,
Yeah.
I linked I put like your Instagram, your Patreon, your website in the description of this video. So like
Thank
if
you.
I go into your website, what will I find there? What exactly do you do as like a content creator, as an artist?
Right. So usually um well, I do a lot. That's why it's like I don't know where to start, but mainly I do art, as in fine
Okay.
art. I create digital art. Sometimes I'll create paintings, and yeah, usually of any, and usually it's kind of like pop art and contemporary art. So I love to do portraits, but they're not realistic. Obviously, it's more poppy looking.
Yeah.
Um, but generally I create illustrations. They're mainly like my original characters, maybe kind of like an original landscape, something that just kind of comes out of my head. I'm highly imaginative, so I don't really care to produce something in the real world.
Yeah,
So
like
even if I draw a person, it doesn't look realistic.
that's
It'll
cool.
look like them, but it looks like a cartoon version of them almost.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Thank you.
A little earlier, you mentioned how you speak Japanese and like you sub your videos in Japanese.
Right.
I know you personally, so I know that you happen to speak 3 languages. Like, what
Yes.
languages do you speak?
So obviously I speak English. I'm born and raised in America. I speak Kannada, which is a South Indian language. My family is from South India. And I speak Japanese. But I've also studied 3 other languages, which is
Wow,
Spanish, Mandarin, Chinese, and Korean.
that's a
So,
lot. Like,
yeah.
I think you're referred to as like a polyglot or something of that nature.
Yeah. Yeah,
How do you
polyglot.
maintain those languages and how did you learn?
Um, well, in school here, you have to either take Spanish or French.
I took
And
Spanish, yeah.
yeah, me too.
It's like
And
kindergarten Spanish.
I know. I got really good at it and then I forgot. But my part of my family is actually from Chile.
Wow.
So I don't often mention that. I don't know why, but like only a few people know that.
That's very
So
interesting. Cool.
yeah, so part of my family is from Chile and my cousins also speak Spanish. So one of my aunt's mother can't speak English. So I tried to learn Spanish to communicate with her. But strangely enough, now I can understand their Spanish, like my aunt and her mother's Spanish, but I can't um, like understand anybody else's. Like it's all
Oh,
about
wow.
relativeness. Like if I'm in
Yeah.
the situation, I understand it. So yeah. So that's like why I took Spanish. And then I'd always been interested in learning Japanese since I was a kid. Like it was just a random thing. Like of course I'm like an anime fan and whatnot, but my brother showed me one of my favorite animes in Japanese and I fell in love with the language so much. I just thought it was pretty. So I was like, I want to learn this. And it just kind of lasted until, I went to college and took proper courses. But when I was younger, I had learned to like read and write a little bit and speak a little bit. So, yeah. And then with Mandarin and Korean, I kind of just just for the sake of interest started learning them as well.
I
So I
think
can
it's
read Korean, but I can't do anything else.
I mean, like, for those who know us personally, like our hometown and such, like we've been so blessed to like interact with so many different, so many peoples across the world in a little corner of the world. So like,
Mm-hmm.
I can go out on the street, hear Vietnamese, understand that Vietnamese is being spoken. Like, I can
Mm-hmm.
hear Korean, obviously because of the music and whatever, and I can like see like the written language and recognize, oh, that's Korean, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
in like I'll say like less so with Mandarin because I had a friend back in the day who was Mandarin. His mom spoke Mandarin, so I'll hear words and like, yeah, for sure, that's Mandarin. And same for Japanese. Like
Mm-hmm.
you see the characters written, and like it's so cool. Like there's so many written languages, and like the way that like people like describe things with words is just so it's so fascinating. Like it's so heartbreaking, like trying to send music to maybe a stranger or an acquaintance. Be like, try this out, you might like it. It's not in
Right.
English. I'm not interested. Why? Why not? Like, don't. It makes it it breaks my heart to see folks like shut themselves off in that way. Especially like
Yeah.
I work in retail, and a
Hmm.
lot of like these contractors and laborers, they speak Spanish. It's their first language, and
Hmm.
I'm thinking. And I'm like, you'll go to these like big box stores and you'll hate the music that's being played. Not even because it's bad per se, but because, oh, I hear this all the time. Like, I'm tired of hearing this song 30 times a day. I wish there was
Right.
a little more variety. And I'm thinking,
Right.
bruh, like if they played some Spanish music up in here, we get no work done,
I
okay? We can be
know.
cutting
I
the
know.
rug. But folks are like, I don't want to hear songs in Spanish. I don't understand the words. And like, if you can Google like the latest verse from Two Chains, like you can throw like Te Quería by Lilo Pimienta and like Google Translate and learn a new word. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. No, I think like in my opinion, it's all about just not being exposed to enough. A lot of people that are just too comfortable from what they've learned at home or what makes them feel comfortable. And it's all about your environment as well. Like family, you don't understand how family can really influence the way you think. Like you were
Yeah.
born and raised by them. So if they think bad things, it's easy for you to think that's normal. So when you go out into the world and you hear these things, you're like, oh, that's bad. Or, oh, I've never heard that before. Oh, that makes me uncomfortable. The reason it makes you uncomfortable is because it's new. Anything new makes anybody uncomfortable. There's no um like it happens to everybody. It's not, and it's how used to you are of accepting that discomfort and knowing why it is. Then you understand, oh, that's something new. But it's up to you if you want to check it out or not. But the fact that people think something negative when they hear something they don't understand is kind of whack to me, if I'm honest.
100%. Totally
Like I
whack.
can't understand that mind.
Mm-mm. So we've been talking about art all this time, like be it like visually or like in an audio way or like maybe through a video game, like art. Like when you hear the word, like how does that speak to you? Like why have like you given all of yourself to art and everything that like encompasses that?
Um, that's such a great question. Um, I feel like I knew this question was coming, and I'm just like, I'm gonna have to wing this one because I have no idea
Like
how
a
to answer
true
it.
artist.
Yeah. Even my
Top
brother was,
5.
well, yeah, my brother's like, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, I think I got some questions, but I'm just gonna go. So,
You're not being graded, I promise.
well, when I started getting into drawing, think I was just interested in it. So I loved drawing because I just thought pictures were interesting, colorful, something nice to look at. So it wasn't anything that I had particularly thought
Like
about as a kid. Yeah, it was just something I loved. But when I was really young, I drew a portrait of my dad on the way home from daycare.
wow.
And he loved it so much that he praised me in front of everybody. And my dad often praised me. So
Okay, right.
yeah, he was like the one who kind of gave me like a little push. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was a bad kid. I was scolded a lot. But I mean, he also, told me when he thought I excelled in something for sure. And I think that's where it started. Like I felt good about my own product, but I felt great that he loved it.
Hmm.
So I guess, well, I don't say it often, so I'm going to say it on here, but my parents have passed away. So at that moment, my art was just something, it's the only thing I could think about because I suffered so much trauma that I visually saw things all the time in my dreams. I have bad dreams every day.
Oh,
Every day. Like like it's rare that I don't have a bad dream, or even if I don't have a bad dream, it's like the ambiance is somehow strange to me.
wow.
So That being said, it's a lot of emotional stress for somebody like me. I didn't really talk about it very much. I still don't really like to talk about it very much. I think it's only specific people. So like when I would speak to my grandfather, maybe when I speak to my brother. Otherwise, I'm just
Yeah,
like silent. Um and it kind of holding that in, it was such a huge chunk of my life at the time. Holding that in kind of, I don't know how to, like, it caused me to hold everything else in.
I see.
So and that's actually how I came up with Subtle Smile. I'm quite a
Okay.
happy person. When you meet me and like this whole time I've been smiling,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm generally like I have no reason to, you know, I mean, I have no reason to be gloomy. So I just kind of, I meet people, I smile and things like that. But people think I'm so happy that I often get that I'm spoiled or I live a perfect
Oh.
life or, oh, you must have been raised with so many good things if you're smiling that much. And number one, it's not anybody's place to know who I am unless I give you permission to know who I am. So nobody knows. I mean, those kind of people, I just shrug off. Obviously, if they already assume that of me, then they're not important. They don't think I'm important enough to be asking me about my life.
Yeah.
So, but it's actually how I became so passionate about art is because at that time it just felt so good. Like I was able to express a lot of negative feelings that could have, and we used to be
Manifested in
very
very bad
angry.
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I mean, I was naughty. I'd like get in fights and stuff. So
Uh oh.
yeah, I didn't want to be that way anymore. I wanted healthier ways, especially because I knew I was growing up, and eventually when I hit adulthood, I don't want to be like that. Every time I get angry and punching somebody in the face, it's satisfying, but my life was too important for that. But doing this as, work made me feel emotionally good, and I was producing something that people liked.
Hmm.
So I decided, when I was young that um, art was just something I wanted to get into. But unfortunately, it didn't work that way. I ended up graduating in Asian studies and working in Japan for 4 years. So when I came back, I was like, now's my time. And I also believe in timing. It just wasn't my time then.
And
Go ahead.
I'll say that like with a lot of artists that I like may know personally or like observe
Right.
that like there's a lot of frustration and like I gave this my all and the audience didn't perceive it the way that I literally was just watching Lady Bird, like the Oscar nominated film of my missus, and there's
Mm-hmm.
one point in the plot where the main character is in a musical and the director like he's sitting down and one of the cast members sits next to him and he's just like saying despondently, they didn't even understand it. And I'm sure a lot of people who create for a living or like with the majority of their time felt that, like oh like I really wanted people to like react or like understand what I was trying to do here. But most of the time with art, which is so interesting to me, it goes right over your head, almost like you're like trained or like familiar with the kind of style or presentation, like you'll just be like, so what is this doing for me? You'll notice that with a lot of songs that people will play, especially on air, like every day,
Mm-hmm.
like where's like the emotional connection, like where am I supposed to get it or like it?
Right.
So it's I think it takes a real like a person who's just like grounded and like yo like 9 times out of 10 this is not going to work out, but I still have to do it, and
Yeah.
that's why we're here right now. Like I was
Okay.
tuned into one of your Pillow Talk streams on Twitch,
Right.
and you had the audacity. I'm here to like rebuke you.
Oh,
Okay,
wonderful.
I'm here
Mm-hmm.
to like tell you had the audacity to say I'm not even really that interesting. Listen here, like You, my friend, like here's the first thing you did that's like interesting. You
Right.
finished your college degree.
I
Like
did.
maybe like 3 out of 10 people we know get to do that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like you know the vibes. Like
Yeah.
adults told us as children, hey guys, you're going to go to school for 12 years, and then you're going
Yeah.
to go to college, and then
Mhm.
you're going to have a career, and then you'll be a success. Like, and
Well,
that's not the
people had planned
reality.
8. Yeah. I mean, my family had planned 8 years of college for me. I didn't do it.
Woo!
So, um
That's a long time to
yeah,
be in school, yo.
I think well, I don't mind school. I like learning. I don't necessarily like the system,
Oh,
but
I
I like
agree.
what I learn. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, see, you finished, and
Mhm.
then you went to a whole other country to live and make money. And we would talk on the phone every so often, like
Right.
you're all the way in the east, I'm here in the west, and you're like,
Right.
I'm having a hard time, but like I'm still plugging away because
Mhm.
this is what I need to be doing right now. And
Yeah,
let me
I
tell
still
you,
feel that way.
like
Mhm.
I went to college for 1 semester and I was acting a fool. I was having way too much fun. I wasn't learning a damn thing. And after
Mhm.
that 1 semester, it's like I need to go home because if I'm here any longer, like, oh, the debt, it's calling my name. I see it in my dreams. Now I gotta bounce. And my mom, God bless her, she dropped out twice before she got her degree. So she's like, hey, I get it. But
Mm.
for most folk, like going to like university, that's the end all be all. And so
Yeah.
here you are, as like coming out on the other side, right?
Mhm.
Going to Japan, working there, like doing your thing, and still coming home to say, like, this isn't over for me. Like I still have like the rest of my life to do something.
Yeah.
Again, here we are. Like, how dare you say, oh, I'm not that interesting. Like, you sing, you play an instrument, like, you speak almost 6 languages. And, like, you're on Twitch playing games. Let's talk about games for a second if you don't mind. Like,
Yeah. So usually I play horror games and
oh,
fighting games, but
nope. Mm-mm. Interview's over. You like that scary shit. Why?
yeah. um I could probably stomach more than the average person. So, but I think Resident Evil 7 is really grotesque. I think it's just
Mm.
not anything really. I don't really get excited usually in real life. Like I am excited for like certain things, and you know, I don't get nervous very often
Okay.
either. It's like so it could be in any situation and I wouldn't like really get nervous. So when I play horror games, they kind of give me that excitement.
That
Like my
adrenaline rush, huh?
yeah, but it's so funny because people on my mom's side, like my mom, well, actually, maybe only my mom among my whole family, but then my dad's side of the family, like my cousins, really love horror.
Oh, okay.
So it just kind of like I grew up watching horror with my mom. And so, yeah, I mean, I love it. I love to get like that little jump scare and stuff. So, I mean, it just
Okay.
kind of fuels my excitement.
Right. So it's almost
If
as
you
if, like,
scare me, let me just say, if you scare me in real life, I'm probably automatically going to punch you in the face. So I don't
see, good
recommend
reaction
that.
time. It's that ticking in you.
Right.
No, and it's like I think that it's amazing that like through like frightening things and like through like your artistic extensions, like you're like keeping like the memory and influence of your parents like alive in your own heart.
Oh,
And
yeah, no. I think,
like you're showing that to the world. Like this is the like these I'm showing you the people who raised me by being the way that I am, you know?
yeah, exactly. I think I wouldn't be interested in anything I was if it weren't for my parents. I think they grew, I mean,
I can relate.
as it's just kind of like we grow up in a culture where there are certain things that are allowed as far as continuing your life. So
Yes.
you notice probably a lot of the Indian community that you see even in America have a similar job. And we
Mm.
all end up in the same career or degree because it's just what we know, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's but I think like my parents, like my mother studied accounting and like or finance, and then my dad
Wow.
was an engineer, and my brother's an engineer. So I think it's just it was so normal for me. Everyone kind of was the same. Y'all had the same job. Y'all had the same degree. Y'all, that's all y'all talk about. how much did you study? How high did you go in education? How great your job is. Like a doctor is definitely way better than being this. And it's just how the community runs. But what I feel that was unique about my family is what I took into my personality.
Yeah.
I thought this part of my family was so beautiful. Without them, I wouldn't know these things. Like it's actually thanks to like as an Indian, stereotypically, we're all like really well educated. We all like know math and shit. I don't know no math, but but it's true. We're all like educated and stuff, but there's something that makes our family beautiful and uniquely beautiful.
Yeah.
And I feel like I wanted to also show the world that. Like I talk a lot about my personality, my upbringing, what I learned about life, and what I learned through, choosing a lot, my own path. And I think like I can't, unless I thought of like maybe 2 or 3 Indian actors or actresses that are well known, I don't know anybody else in the community that really does a famous art.
See, there you go. And
So, I was like, I never really understood that. I don't think it's a bad thing. You can have steady jobs while still being an artist or being a musician.
yes.
You don't all have to be rock stars. Well, not you, even me. I'm so small. I'm such small fry. So, I
For
mean,
now.
but I don't well, I hope so. But that being said, you don't, right? You don't I mean, you can still have stable jobs, but like everybody's so safe in what they know. But unfortunately, they're so safe in that they never share anything unique about themselves.
I just want to I'm based on what you're saying, like I'm it's so nice that like your family gave you like the space to like figure out, yo, like maybe like these paths that y'all have taken, they may not work out for me. So
Right.
like you're like, okay, well like if V's not gonna do this, like she could always do that, and bam, again, here we are. I wanna take the time now to just like shout at your brother, like tell us
Oh,
about
hi,
your
brother.
relationship.
He's probably
Yes.
downstairs.
Shout out to bro. Like, is he like, is like, if you're Billie Eilish, is he your Phineas, or is he
Yeah.
more of like your Itachi? Like, what's your relationship to your brother?
Um, that's exactly it. Like usually when we listen to Billie Eilish and Phineas, we're like, wow, they're just like us.
Oh, that's us. Oh,
Because well, at first I said we're like them, but they're younger than us. So
oh, it's true. It's
so my
true.
brother's like, flip it, we're older. Remember, we're old. Like, oh yeah.
Grown, grown. We ain't old yet. We grown. We well
Go home.
seasoned.
Yep. But yeah, no. We get along. We never fight. Like I was even now I'm still babied. Like sometimes something will happen or I'll like mess up something and then he'll like give me a hug and he's like, "Oh, poor baby." And I'm just like, "Great. I'll always be a baby." But
Hey,
yeah, he's well older than me, so it's
okay.
also the culture. Like once you're older than
Yeah.
somebody, you got to take care of them. So
Yeah.
for
That's
sure, but
lovely.
no, we're
That's very
extremely
nice.
close.
That's so
Yeah.
awesome, bro. Shout out to you. Like, I will occasionally see you on the feed, and it's like, oh, there's V's, bro. It's like, it's so nice that they like get along because often we see portrayed like, oh, it's my sibling. I don't like them very much. It's like,
Yeah. The
okay,
age difference helps us. Like,
okay,
but
yeah.
like when I started elementary school, he was already in high school.
Oh
So,
man, wow.
yeah. So, like, no, like, there was no like sibling rivalry. In fact, I kind of treat him like I wanted to hear the same things out of my brother, the same things I hear out of my parents. So, like, when they tell me I did a good job, when I show my brother my homework and I was like, I got an A, and then he'd be like, oh, good job. And then he'd like give me a hug and then we'd go play.
Mm,
So, it's like, he's well older than me. So, there was no rivalry ever.
that's lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. So rivalry. Let's jump into question 12. Like
Sure.
success. Like it's all we can talk about here in the States. Like, are you succeeding in your
Yeah.
career?
Yeah.
Emotionally. Like all sorts of like ways you can like measure success. Like, I'm not gonna ask you what success looks like to you in this particular way. What frightens you about success? That's what I want to know.
Sorry. I'm like chewing my carrot at the same time I'm thinking. So it's like you can hear the dot 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 in the air.
No, it's chill.
um,
It's chill.
I'm just not feeling well, guys. So by the way, that's why I'm munching. Just to let you know.
You gotta eat. Like
Yeah.
a very wise man from South Florida said, "If you ain't chewing, what are you doing?" I have no idea what that means, but like I heard it and it sounds kind of deep, so I'm just gonna roll with it for now. You know what I'm saying?
When I hear chewing, I hear tobacco. So
Maybe not that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Pick your poison, but like, please don't do that. Think of the teeth. All
Right.
right.
Um, I guess I'm going in the route of fame. Like I want people to
Okay.
know who I am. So I guess that scares me. Make people know who I am because I'm
Be
quite
recognized on the
private.
street. Right.
But I'm still small fry. Nobody knows who I am. Just letting you know.
Again, for now, you never know, man. Like,
But I'm
my.
doing everything. I'm doing everything by myself. So can only be it can only be if I introduce myself to people. Hey, this is me. This is what I do. So that just happens to be the route I'm going on. But nothing really scares me about success. I have a lot of goals that tie into my success. So I hope to meet them.
Super. That leads right into another question that I have for you about like more YouTube stuff. Like it's now
Right.
August, day 1 of August. Two significant nerd facts. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
recall from season 1 of Digimon, it's when like Ty looks at the fridge and looks at the date and he's like, "It's August 1st." So that's his thing, and it's
I never knew
also
that.
neither did I, and I've been like, so I loved that show for so long, but never really
Yeah,
saw that
I
clip
remember
until
you being a
now.
Digimon fan because I'm a
Oh,
Pokemon fan. So
and I mean, I like both, but it's like at a certain point, I fell off the Pokemon train probably around whatever happened past Hoenn. I'm like, ooh, I couldn't afford to like keep up with like the hardcore like Nintendo fans. And I was raised on Nintendo, but it's just like after Hoenn, I'm like, I'm off this. I gotta get on to something else. You know what I mean?
yeah, it was a lot. It's still going, and like it
Yeah.
drives me nuts that there's new Pokemon. There's like 500 new Pokemon every year now, and I'm like, they didn't even make 500 Pokemon for the first season. So I'm like, where are they coming from? But it could just be our age, dude. I mean,
Yeah, like you blink and then like they re-released like silver version. And I'm just like, I gotta play this all
right.
over again, bruh. Also, it's Spider-Man Day, so happy Spider-Man Day. Shout out to Stan Lee, you know the vibes.
Love,
We love you, Stan.
love you
Excelsior.
so much. Excelsior.
But like I said, it's August. Like the year's almost over. What a hellscape this year has been.
Yeah, for sure.
And you are about one video in on YouTube. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say are the rest of your goals for the year on YouTube? What would you like to do?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I haven't really thought about it. I think
Ooh, there you go.
I never thought about it.
That's kind of scary, bro. That's scary there.
Yeah.
There's a
I
success and
think
scary things, man.
yeah, I think of course I'd love to have followers. I don't know how many I want in the year. Like hopefully I have nearly 100 on Twitch within 1 year, so
Let's
hopefully
go,
I'll get
Twitch. Let's
nearly
go.
100 in the next year for YouTube, but it depends on what the people like. I'm really like
You have
gonna do a
options.
lot
That's
of
great.
right. So
Okay.
I'm hoping that yeah, I just want to see where it goes. I have a bunch of things in mind. Of course, I'm uploading games and games subtitled in Japanese. So,
That's awesome. You mentioned
yeah.
how you're like with horror games. You're very like you mentioned Resident Evil 7. I've seen a few clips of that. Like as seeing where like that brand used to be like with the first PlayStation and where it is now, but like the four, like night and day. And like I'm impressed at like the level of detail that's gone into it. But like oh no, like I'd have to like be standing up right next to the door in case I got frightened and had to run out the door. You know what I'm saying? But like I connect more
For
with like the
real.
yeah, I connect more with like the fighting games though, like Smash Bros. I mentioned Tekken, and I know you happen to have a copy of Street Fighter. Which copy of Street Fighter do you own?
2.
Okay, and that's
Well,
what's
we have the latest one, but my brother plays that. I don't really play it, but I got to start.
because I've seen like they're like when I Google like Street Fighter, I see so many different versions of the game. Like, which
Right.
particular one do you have?
Oh, for Street Fighter 2, we have the Hyper or Turbo, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And then
Okay.
for number 5, I don't know, I guess it's the regular or the Alpha.
Who's your
So,
main on Street Fighter?
Ryu.
Hey,
Yeah.
original. I just saw a meme on Twitter about how for years, like almost decades, like Ryu and Ken have had the same move set for so
Mhm.
long, and I'm just like, they're not the same character. And I know, and you can like, it's not too hard to figure out why they have the same move set, but it's just, I'm just like, I am obsessed with variety. So I'm just like, what are the things that make Ken Ken? I'll also notice these things about the latest Super Smash Brothers, like Smash Bros. Ultimate. Like, there are so
Right.
many Final Fire Emblem characters in Smash Bros. Ultimate, and a lot of them have the same move set. And you have the same problem with like Peach and Daisy, and I'm just like, yo, like, if there are all these cool characters, why couldn't we give them a few things that like make them stick out? Like the color schemes aren't enough, man. Like what makes them
Oh,
stand on their own two
so like
feet?
it depends. It depends on how often you use somebody to know that. So like Ryu and
Okay,
Ken look very similar and act very similar, but Ken's uppercuts are stronger and Ryu's fireballs are stronger, something like that. There's always
oh,
something specific to them,
okay,
even if they're similar. So that's what makes it tricky.
okay. That just means I have to really like just step my own game up with the game because I'm very bad at Street Fighter. But thankfully, it's been so fun that it hasn't really mattered. You know, like
Right.
I always want to like put another quarter in and give it another shot. So
Right.
I'm looking at the time. We're still
Mhm.
good to go. We're still good to go for another half an hour if you're down.
Mhm. Yeah, I should be okay.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I'm really ill today, so
yeah, we'll have to keep
maybe
that in mind.
yeah.
Let's see how we feel after 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, and so let's knock out the this or that questions. I know
Hmm.
one in particular was giving you a little trouble. So like, let's start
That
there.
question is some shit. Anybody who knows me will know that question is shit.
Let's get into it right this minute, because like when you mentioned that band you like from Japan, I thought you'd like break the fourth wall and just say their name, but you didn't. So I'm gonna say it for
It
you.
wasn't them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad
I
it
didn't
wasn't them.
get TikTok for them, so.
So like let's get down to the nitty gritty.
Mhm.
In this corner, we have your boy Abel from Canada, the EXO King, The Weekend. But in the other
Mm.
corner, we have your boys from the East, X4. If you have to pick one, who would it be and why? Like to listen to for the rest of your life. No more Weekend or no more X4. Who do you choose?
I actually thought about
Ooh.
this one long and hard.
Okay.
I choose the weekend.
Why is that?
I resonate more with the weekend songs. He talks about things that X4 wouldn't. I feel like X4 is very fun. So the reason I went to a lot of X4 concerts is that they were fun and stuff, and they were new. It was just, and each one of the members is so talented. Like they have their own talents. So actually,
Okay.
X4 broke up this year in March or
No
last year
kidding.
in March.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah. So they actually uh they broke up, but I feel like a lot of their songs are technically great.
Okay.
Their lyrics are technically great for what they were producing at the time. The music was technically great. They're all great singers, great dancers, whatever. But there's something really true to the Weeknd's songs. And a lot of his darkness I can understand because I grew up difficult.
Okay.
So, I resonate with it better. So I choose the Weeknd, but I love you, X4. I've been to way more X4 lives, but
And that's just the difference in just like culture alone. Cause like at this point in his career, like the Weekend, he's an A-lister musically speaking. Like it costs an arm and a
yeah,
leg to go see him play, but like here you are in like the East seeing export on like a regular basis because they're smaller. So like
right.
like there's more access and stuff. Like I didn't really know who the Weekend was until like 2011 because those three mixtapes were like doing crazy numbers on all the blogs and whatnot. But like
Right.
once he crossed over in a huge way.
Yeah. I think The Weeknd's growth. So I'm personally a fan of his older stuff, but his growth has also been so interesting. It's not just spewing the same shit all the time.
Okay, well, I'll here's a bonus question related to the weekend since you chose him.
Hmm.
Would you say you prefer Heartless or Blinding Lights as like as far as like his current sound is considered is going?
Maybe Heartless.
Hey,
Yeah,
shout out to Metro
honestly.
Boomin.
Yeah. No, actually, I love the album for what it is. I think The Weeknd did a great job. I think it's a great album, but there's a difference in his essence now. So it makes it a little more, it's not as resonating with me. So, but if I had to choose, I'd say Heartless.
Okay, I'm going to do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
My dear friend, in the YouTube world, Naimori,
Mm-hmm.
was looking
Hello,
for the
Naimori.
he's asking like you speak Japanese. Like he's very psyched about that. I'm gonna see if you see this comment when I post it.
Oh,
Bam.
yeah, I see
You see it?
it. Yeah.
What does it actually say? If you don't mind me asking.
So he's asking if I speak Japanese, and he says, "Donna game wo suru?" What kind of game do you play?
Ah, sick.
So
I'm learning something
yeah,
today. All right, cool.
yeah. So yeah, I do speak Japanese, and I play horror games. ナイモリも日本語喋れますか？日本人ですか? I asked him if he speaks Japanese and if he's from Japan or if he is Japanese.
I was like, I can safely say he is not, but I'm gonna let him decide. I'm gonna let him say it for himself.
Oh, okay.
My man, thank you so much for like tuning into the stream.
Yeah,
Let's get
thank you
more
for
into.
coming.
Let me ask you something a little abstract, if you don't mind.
Hmm.
Um, Magic or God? What do you believe in more? What's really like making this all like be, if you will?
Yeah, I'd say God.
Hmm. Elaborate on that. I'm a bit of a skeptic myself, but I was raised in like
Yeah,
I was.
I'm more of a skeptic of magic. I believe there are things in this universe that are you can't explain.
Hmm.
So that being said, magic is usually produced by people, and I'm more likely to believe a person less.
Ooh, that's a
So
bar.
yeah, so I mean, you can do an entertaining show. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But there's no such thing as real magic to me. That also being said, I can't prove that there is a God, or I can't prove that there are, those things that we can't explain, but I can't disprove that either. And generally you can disprove a person if you try hard enough. So I'm more likely to believe something I can't see just because I haven't seen it yet versus people.
I mean, the coronavirus, right? We can't see that, but like we
Mm-hmm.
know it's killing folks, so it's like, I got
Yeah.
my mask on when I go out the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That shouldn't, to me, that's not considered a belief. You should,
Like we have
to me,
experts
that's fact.
dropping
Exactly.
verifiable facts. So
Exactly. So, it's a different bar, but sure.
yeah, all right. So we've almost come to like the conclusion of the stream. Like an hour went by and we blinked. You know what I mean? That's crazy to
Right.
me.
No, it's so fun. Like, I'm
Good.
completely
Like that
enjoying
was what that
myself.
was that was question 15. Are you having fun? Like
No,
with like
yeah.
where you are like with your art and your life, it's like despite like the hellscape taking place outdoors, like are you having fun? Like
Like, as far as staying at home and stuff?
well, just like like where you are in 2020, like
Oh,
considering
yeah.
that what you can do and what you like hope to accomplish, like that's like a positive thing in your life. Yes,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm
marvelous.
actually extremely happy to be home, and I'm one of those people that gets stressed out from the outside. So
Ooh,
I'm extremely happy during quarantine compared to everybody else I know.
I hear you. All right. There's one question that I forgot that I really wanted to drop in here.
Right.
Um, 2010 Vina, what are you telling her? Like, hey, like it's me. Like, I just wanted to drop you a few like gems of knowledge before I go back to my time. Like, what do you tell 2010 V about like, oh, like here's what you have to look forward to and be mindful of.
That's hard.
Hmm.
Because I've always been extremely realistic. I've never tricked myself
No
into being
sugarcoating.
over positive. Exactly. a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is so cool," or "This is so new." And actually, 2010 Vino or V was the was the first time that I went to Japan.
Oh wow.
So, but I wasn't really sugarcoating anything. I'd say trust your gut and keep doing what you're doing. I think there's no I don't think I did anything wrong up to now. I know people are like, I know a lot of people are thinking you're already 30. By the way, I'm 30.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's a landmark right there, okay?
Yeah, I'm 30 years young. So
Sturdy 30, you know what I'm saying? I'll be there in a couple of years.
yeah. That being said, I mean, I'm 30 now. I often was told I basically got a stable job because I think that's what was expected from me. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. I utilized my skills that I'd studied in college and everything was fine. I think I had a few bumps here and there, but
Who doesn't?
I'd say listen to your gut. All the bumps brought you exactly where you need to be.
Yeah, like stability is underrated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
For sure. No, I agree.
like the planet is like shifting on a bunch of tectonic plates, and like thinking about that will keep you up at night. But we also know that like you thrive in a place that's kind of scary. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, well,
I'm often told I have no fear. It's kind of true.
so
And I
you're the
think that's why I'm very
Green
gung
Lantern.
ho.
All right, I think we can wrap up here if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm totally
Right.
okay with that. I'm actually feeling a little better, so whatever you're okay with, I'm okay with.
Marvelous.
Yeah.
Marvelous. Like if this is a good place to stop, we can pump the brakes right here, hop off the bus. Like we have enough questions to like do a part two sometime from now, maybe like in a couple months.
Yeah. I'd actually love that.
Awesome. So feel free to like plug like everything that you've got going on right now in the world. Like anything else you want
Mhm.
to add?
Um I just want to say to everybody thank you for coming in and uh I'm really still small fry. If you think my work is worth sharing, please share it. Please support me wherever you can. I really, really appreciate all of you. So thank
Like,
you so
comment, and
much.
subscribe.
Yes,
Also,
please.
one more comment from our dear friend Mr. Mori.
Ah, 日本人じゃないけど、友達と話す。Ah, そうなんだ. Okay, so he said he's not Japanese, but he speaks Japanese with people, other people, or with his friends, rather, not other people. So he said, look forward to your games. Really?
Yeah, it's not very often like I see like how like the sausage gets made. So this is like, yo, I'm tripping out right now, bro. Just a few more things before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Like it's 2020. Like you're like we're all on our phones, we're all on socials, we're all seeing the news. Like let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
One of the things that matters most of all right now: Black Lives Matter, right?
Yes.
Queer lives matter, right?
Yes.
Like science matters, right?
Yes.
Like facts are important, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
like bear those things in mind. Anybody who might be listening who's unsure about those things, now is not the time to like be on the fence. Like we're on the
Absolutely.
internet, you can find a myriad of information. So like
Yeah. Oh,
look at
and
it.
also for
Oh,
people, I'm sorry, real quick.
please,
Also
yeah.
for people who want to donate to Black Lives Matter but can't, afford such a large sum, I actually have a screen, like phone background that you can download off of my website. It's only $1. If you can spare $1, that you can get the phone background, and that dollar is going to go to Black Lives Matter.
And that's on
So
your website, right?
that's on my website. It's in this.
Bam,
It's
right
in the
there.
shop. Yeah, it's in the shop section. So among like my goods, you'll see that there's a phone background that says, and it's just pretty font that says Black Lives Matter. It's simple. It's $1. If you want to donate but you can't afford, like a lot of the donation websites are all $20. Or like is their minimum, and we all work hard out here, not everybody has that, but if you ever have $1 to spare and you're like, I want to donate, you can always donate through me. It's only $1 and I'm going to send that to Black Lives Matter. So
see, and we'll have the receipts to prove that. One last thing on my political tip, like there are 3 particular people who need to be brought to justice for the wrong that they have done. Their names, because we need to know their names: John Mattingly, Brett Hankinson, Joshua James. Oh, there are 4. Miles Cosgrove, the people responsible for the death of Breonna Taylor, your days are numbered. That's not even a threat. It's like what happens in the dark
I mean,
comes out in the light. So like,
right. No, it definitely does.
justice is
Y'all
going
need to
to win.
arrest them.
You know
That
what I mean? We want to arrest. We want people to be arrested, and we want a conviction. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
just like set a precedent for like when you murder somebody, you're gonna like have consequences for that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. No,
That's
they
all I
need
have
to
to
be
say about that.
arrested. No,
Point
they need
blank,
to be
period.
arrested. When I hear that news and it's way too long that's on the news. They need to be arrested. They need to be arrested. Go and arrest them. Do your jobs. Do your
You know what I'm
jobs.
saying?
There's a reason you guys are leaders. You're a leader over everything. You watch over everything, but you're not going to take a couple of bad eggs out of the police so the rest of them can help. Like, I mean, and that's another thing. Like, we all talk about, like, you know, how structurally, like, the police is shit, right? We all know it. We all know it. But you have the few that'll actually go out on that limb and start killing people.
It'll spoil the whole bunch. So like,
so
hey,
you need to fucking do your job.
Like, quit your job or like make us like, and hey, like if you want to, and when you like want to make the right decisions in your career, like no matter what you do, like people notice you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not standing alone when you like make a stand for the right thing. Like a lot, like history has shown that. So like, don't be afraid.
And history has also shown that good people fucking win. So don't be assholes.
The good guys are going to win. Like it's really scary right now, but like have faith in like our good friend Gerard Way said, art is the weapon. So
yeah.
I think it's a good place to stop.
Yeah. Oh, actually, also I want please. Anybody could. All of my social media is on my main website, as is my products. But if you guys follow my Twitter and Instagram, I actually have virtual art shows that I'm doing, one for August, one for September, and one for October. They're all extremely close personal projects to me. So if you guys would, you know, are interested, please drop a follow for Twitter and Instagram, because that's where I update all my news and about my streams, about my art, about my music, and everything like that. So please go ahead and drop a follow if you can, and follow my. If you don't have it, you can just view my website, and I update that as well.
I'll post it here.
Okay, awesome. But thank you guys.
My pleasure. Yeah. Oh my God. It's late, and like we probably need to get some sleep. So
yeah, I apologize. I thought I could make it. I thought I could make it the whole way, but
listen,
I think my body has other plans, so I should probably get.
There you go. Like so, V, if you don't mind, please say goodbye to the people out there watching.
Bye, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for taking the time to come and support me and support my friend Chris. And, you know, just it means a lot to me. So thank you. Every time you guys take the time out to come see me or even come support one of my friends, it really means a lot. So thank you very much.
Oh, wait, before we go.
Oh, had to stream. This dude is always late.
Always showing up late. Talking about CP time.
I don't know, man. Rod, you're lacking.
Bro, we love you.
You're not like come on, man. Where are you all the time? Like, no, I'm just joking though. But
no, it's cool. We got to one day.
Yeah, I want to shout out to Rod also. Like, he's a great streamer as well, and he has a bunch of subscribers on his YouTube. So I mean.
Get some of that like that networking going, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. No, Rod is a great streamer. If y'all enjoy those games and stuff, you should really. He's really passionate about what he does, and you know, I just want to shout out to him. He's really great, and he's a huge supporter of me as well. Dude, you're always hiding in the background.
Bruh. We're gonna let these hearts.
Much love, Naimori. ありがとう。あと、日本の方に、見てくれてる人に、もう本当にありがたいので、ありがとうございます。I just want to give a shout out to like Japanese people who might be watching. So, just wanted to say, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. ありがとうございました。
All right, I think we're going to cut things off here. Have a good night, folks. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yep.